Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. Not the analysts. Not the veterans. Not the legends sitting backstage who have watched this industry for decades. Not a single soul on this planet predicted that the man who would finally, truly break Brock Lesnar, not just beat him, not just pin him, but physically handicap him, would be a man who looked Lesnar dead in the eyes and told him exactly what he was going to do before he did it. Oba Femi didn't sneak up on Brock Lesnar. He didn't ambush him. He didn't need allies or conspiracies or backup plans. He walked up to the most feared man in WWE history, looked him dead in the face, and said, "I am taking everything from you." And at WrestleMania 42, he kept his word. Brock Lesnar is handicapped. Let that sink in. The Beast incarnate, the man who conquered The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak, the man who has destroyed every single obstacle this industry has ever placed in his path, is tonight unable to compete. Unable to perform. Possibly unable to ever return to the level we once knew. And the man responsible is sitting on top of the entire WWE universe right now with the kind of calm, unbothered, regal confidence that should terrify every single person on that roster. I need you to comment right now. Tell me, did you ever think you would see Brock Lesnar left broken and handicapped at WrestleMania? Drop it in the comments. Share this video because this is the conversation the entire wrestling world needs to be having right now. And stay until the very end because the details of what Oba Femi did and how he did it will leave your jaw on the floor. Before we break down every single moment of this historic and brutal night, if you are new to Ring Rumble 1, you are in the right place at the right time. This channel is where we give you the real, unfiltered, deep dive breakdowns that the mainstream wrestling media refuses to deliver. No fluff. No filler. Just straight fire analysis and content that respects your intelligence as a wrestling fan. Hit that subscribe button right now. Smash the notification bell and select all notifications, because the fallout from what Oba Femi did to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 is going to generate content on this channel for months. Every development, every update, every twist in this story will be covered right here on Ring Rumble 1. Subscribe. Notify. Let's get into it. To truly feel the weight of what happened at WrestleMania 42, you have to go back to the moment Oba Femi decided that Brock Lesnar was his destination. Not his obstacle. Not his challenge. His destination. There is a critical difference in that framing, and it tells you everything about the mentality of Oba Femi. When most wrestlers look at Brock Lesnar, they see a wall. An immovable, terrifying wall of muscle, aggression, and violence that has ended careers and broken spirits for over 2 decades. The natural instinct, the survival instinct, is to find another path. To build your legacy around someone else. To wait for Lesnar to age out, slow down, or walk away before planting your flag. Oba Femi looked at that wall and saw a door. The challenge was issued in a moment that the WWE universe is still talking about. Oba Femi, composed and commanding in a way that felt almost supernatural for someone his age and experience level, took a microphone and delivered a statement that was so controlled, so precise, and so utterly devoid of fear that it stopped the entire arena cold. He didn't rant. He didn't scream. He didn't try to hype the crowd or play to the cameras. He simply stated, with the kind of absolute certainty that you cannot fake, that Brock Lesnar was the measuring stick of this industry, and that at WrestleMania 42, he was going to not only meet that standard but shatter it. He called Lesnar out by name. He set the stage. He drew the line. And then he waited. Brock Lesnar, to his credit, did not run from it. The Beast accepted. Absolutely clear that when they finally collided, something was going to break. Oba Femi used every single appearance in that build to reinforce a singular message, that he was not intimidated, that he had studied Lesnar more thoroughly than Lesnar had studied himself, and that the Beast's greatest weakness was the very arrogance that had made him so dominant for so long. Lesnar, according to Oba Femi, had spent so many years being feared that he had forgotten how to respect a real threat. And Femi promised, calmly, quietly, and with devastating conviction, that he would make Lesnar pay for that arrogance at WrestleMania. Lesnar, for his part, showed up to every confrontation during the build with the same dismissive energy he has always used to destabilize opponents. The smirk, the slow walk, the wordless physical intimidation that has made lesser men crumble before a single punch is thrown. And every single time, Oba Femi met that energy with something Lesnar was clearly not used to encountering. Stillness. Not nervousness disguised as calm. Not bravado masking fear. Genuine, grounded, unshakable stillness. The kind that comes from a man who has already seen the outcome in his mind and is simply waiting for reality to catch up. The final confrontation before WrestleMania produced one of the most electric face-to-face moments in recent memory. Standing nose to nose with the Beast, a man who has made legends flinch, Oba Femi didn't blink. Didn't move. Didn't react. He simply stared. And in that moment, something shifted in the arena. You could feel it. The crowd felt it. The commentators felt it. For the first time in a very long time, Brock Lesnar looked like he might be the one who should be concerned. The match began the way most Lesnar matches begin, with an explosion of violence that immediately reminded everyone in that building exactly who Brock Lesnar is. He came out of the gates like a freight train, driving Oba Femi into the corner with a series of shoulder tackles that rattled the entire ring structure. The first German suplex came within the opening 90 seconds and the crowd roared. For the first several minutes, it looked like business as usual for the Beast. Methodical, punishing, absolutely relentless in his assault on Femi's midsection and lower back. Lesnar was trying to end it early, which, in hindsight, tells you that some part of him understood the danger he was in. But Oba Femi absorbed it. He didn't just survive the early onslaught, he processed it. You could see him adapting in real time, reading Lesnar's patterns, adjusting to the rhythm of the Beast's attack with a clinical intelligence that was remarkable to witness at this level and at this speed. And then Femi began to fight back. The counter that ignited the crowd came when Lesnar attempted a third German suplex and Femi, in a moment of explosive athleticism that nobody in that building expected, reversed the momentum mid-throw and sent Lesnar crashing to the mat instead. The arena lost its mind. What followed was 15 minutes of the most physically intense, emotionally gripping wrestling WrestleMania 42 had to offer. Femi targeting Lesnar's legs with a focus and persistence that was clearly strategic. Time to react before Lesnar was on the mat and Femi was locking in a submission hold targeting the knee, wrenching it at an angle that made everyone watching wince simultaneously. Lesnar fought. Of course he fought. The man does not know how to quit. But Femi had the position, had the leverage, and had clearly practiced this specific sequence to perfection. The pressure on Lesnar's knee increased with every passing second. The referee was right there. The crowd was on its feet. Brock Lesnar tapped out. For only the second time in his career, the Beast submitted. But Oba Femi was not finished. In the moments after the bell, as officials began to approach the ring, Femi released the hold, and then reapplied it with even greater force. The snap that followed, the sound that came from Brock Lesnar, the way he grabbed his knee and curled on the mat, that was not performance. That was real. Every person watching knew it immediately. The ringside physicians rushed in. The match was over but the damage was still being done. Oba Femi stood over a broken Brock Lesnar, raised both arms, and looked directly into the camera with an expression that said everything words never could. This was always the plan. The medical reports coming out of WrestleMania 42 have confirmed what many feared in real time. Brock Lesnar sustained serious knee damage as a result of Oba Femi's targeted assault. The word being used backstage and in medical evaluations is significant. The timeline for recovery, if recovery is even fully possible, is uncertain. And the question that the entire wrestling world is now asking out loud is one that nobody ever genuinely thought they would have to ask. Is this the end of Brock Lesnar? Lesnar himself has not spoken publicly. His team has gone dark. And WWE, in their typically careful way, has released a statement so vague and so deliberately uncommitted that it has only deepened the concerns surrounding his condition. Oba Femi, meanwhile, has been everything Lesnar has not: visible, vocal, and completely unbothered. His statement following WrestleMania 42 was brief and devastating in equal measure. He said, and I want you to really hear this, that he came to WrestleMania 42 to prove he was the future of this industry. And that the only way to prove that beyond all doubt was to leave the past unable to walk. Oba Femi just rewrote the history of this industry at WrestleMania 42. He didn't just win a match. He didn't just defeat a legend. He physically dismantled the most dominant force WWE has produced in a generation and left him handicapped on the grandest stage of them all. The future is here, and it does not care about your legacy, your reputation, or your streak. Comment below right now, do you think Brock Lesnar ever comes back from this? And is Oba Femi already the most dangerous man in WWE today? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. This is the moment we will be talking about for the next decade. Ring Rumble 1. Subscribe. Stay locked in. We'll see you next time.